Welcome to How to Build a Tent. This show is not about tent building, but how to make you successful. My name is Matt Williams. Thank you for listening to the show, watching the show, sharing the show with a friend, all of the above. The only way the show is going to grow is if you share it with a friend. And for those of you that have, I really appreciate it. It's the highest compliment you can give me is sharing the show. I love seeing it on the social media sites and just seeing the new viewers rolling in week to week. I just feel so blessed to be part of the show, and hopefully I can do this for the rest of my life because it's absolutely amazing that one person on an island in the middle of the ocean can help and reach and speak to the thousands of people that we do all over the world. I talk about it quite a bit, but it's just because it's so overwhelming to think about. And I don't take it for granted, and I hope that the things we discuss help you be more successful. I don't just mean that as a tagline when in fact that wasn't even thought up before a show, but it was something that I just kind of said and I stuck with because it's true. I want you guys to be successful. Man, hockey playoffs are the best playoffs that exist in sports. It is just so great to be in the rink. I can't wait to get back to a state where they have hockey. But watching it on TV, you could just feel just the swings back and forth, the intensity, especially when it gets to those game sevens. Oh my goodness. If you are not a hockey fan, you need to do yourself a favor and pick a team and go to some of those games. By far, it is one of the best sporting experiences you can be a part of. Only second to probably is soccer in another country. That is just a whole nother ballgame whatsoever. I mean, when you're kicking people out of the stadiums because of riots and potential riots, and there's like bulletproof glass separating the fans, you know it's an intense experience. But only second to that, I think the best experience in sports is watching hockey, especially playoff hockey. Even though my Kings are, doing terrible, and they're totally out. They came in second to last place, and they even did horrible in the lottery draft, which the NHL has the best system, I think, about how to determine who gets the first overall pick for the next year. I really love it. It's the lottery draft, and it keeps people from wanting to tank. And also, they're just a great organization, forward-thinking, I get an organization, whatever they are, the NHL, the league, and they just do a lot of great things. Like, for example, in the NFL, when you have the yellow marker for the first down, that came from the NHL experimenting with the passing and the shooting of the puck following it, making it blue and red. They took that away because it ended up being terrible. But that same technology that they experimented with, they ended up rolling out in other sports. And that is just something to think about as well, is continue to look for ways that other people and other industries and other fields are using technology, are doing things differently, and take note. And don't just think, oh, wow, that's kind of cool, but think about how can I apply that in my area of expertise? How can I apply that in my career? How can I apply that in my business? Because there are tons of smart, innovative people. My son just walked into the room. Oh my gosh. I love the smile on his face when he is watching this podcast. So that's why he's often here, because I love it. But as I was saying, there are tons of innovative, smart people in so many different fields that not one person is going to have all the great ideas. So with that truth being a fact, you should be looking and scanning the field in different areas, different businesses, different industries altogether, and look for things that are working. Look at things that are unique, interesting, coming out, and look for ways to apply that to your own field, to your own area of expertise. All right, let's get into this show and do all the business we need to do. First one is we are part of the Fight Laugh Feast Network. Go over to fightlaughfeast.com, put in HtBT in the memo field, and you will get one of these sweet mugs on top of all the other benefits that you get when you become a club member. And there's a whole bunch of different tiers where you get a whole bunch of other stuff, but most of all, you're becoming a partner with us as we proclaim the Lordship of Jesus in every area of life. Do you like that mug? Do you want another mug even though you're already a subscriber? Or you see my HtBT shirt on from a few episodes ago and you thought, man, that looks pretty nice. I would love to get one of those. Well, I'm building out my own How to Build a Tent website, and we're gonna be able to buy all that stuff. You're gonna be able to get a whole bunch of exclusive content for people that are subscribers to our show. So look forward to that. Like stock picks, you'll get to see a peek inside my own portfolios and look at the companies I'm investing in. It's going to be a tremendous value for you because you're going to be able to see the research and all of the picks that I've made, and you can just peek in. So look forward to that. Stay tuned. I will have more to say about that in the coming weeks. Probably going to be rolling that out after I move, which is going to be in a couple months, to the mainland again. It's so sad leaving Hawaii. Let me tell you, it is a beautiful place here. Now, the first story I wanted to hit today, after all the good old hockey talk, because I could talk about hockey all day. I should do my own sports show too. I love sports, grew up my whole life doing the sports. I should just do that. I should do that. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe that'll be another show that we do when we roll out the website. We shall see. But the next story, the real story I wanted to lead with was this: that Amazon is expanding, and Kohl's is expanding their partnership, where now whatever you buy on Amazon, you can return to any Kohl's store. Now this is awesome because, one, as an Amazon Prime customer myself that buys tons of things on Prime, it is tremendous value for me. And Amazon does a great job of pulling so many different areas together to create just more value. And they use statistics. We talked about this on a show previously about how important it is to learn statistics. Is they realize that how much money the average Prime member spends a year on Amazon. So now they have a price point where they can start adding value and spending money to get more members and to keep members, and they'll know statistically how much they're going to spend, and then they can make decisions on how much money they're going to pour into it and add value, add features to get more people to spend more, get more people to buy the memberships, and it's just an amazing thing. Amazon does such a great job of harnessing data, and I'm not just saying that because we had somebody on from Amazon, but they are just a great company all around. And then also from Kohl's perspective, this is great too, because Kohl's is a brick and mortar store, and let's be honest, they're never going to compete with Amazon on the e-commerce side. Amazon's way ahead of them. Walmart is second best. At Kohl's, I don't think they have the expertise to compete in the e-commerce world. But they do have the brick and mortar stores, and they have been doing this partnership, which is just an amazing business strategic play that I absolutely love, because you're tying into Amazon, but also you're getting people to come into your stores. That's like one of the hardest things, and one of the things that stores pay the most for in marketing is how do you get people to come to your brick and mortar stores? Nowadays, you run ads and they click and they go on to your website and they buy online. But you're still, like with the brick and mortar stores, to the best of my knowledge, you're still relying on the traditional advertising models of, TV ads, newspaper ads, magazine ads, and those sales, all those kinds of traditional advertising ways to get people to come into your brick and mortar store. Now, people are going to be coming in to return whatever they got on Amazon, and maybe they'll be setting up their stores, hopefully they'll be doing this, setting up their stores to grab people's attention for products they're trying to move that would appeal to Amazon shoppers on the way to the return desk. And now you're getting traffic in, and all you have to do is be taking the returns for Amazon. I'm sure they've worked something out. And this is another example of knowing the data, right? Because they need to understand how much it's going to cost to add this extra service. They're probably going to have to hire more employees. They're probably calculating from their test site before they rolled it out how many people bought something that returned an item as well, and putting those statistics together, seeing how much extra cost is this per store, and then how much of revenue does it generate for Kohl's. These are just awesome partnerships. Now, partnerships in the digital economy are going to become more and more common, but oftentimes we think about them in the technology sense, where you are consuming one person's APIs in a platform and you're accessing another platform within a platform and you don't even know it, and there's just pulling and pushing of data back from company to company, and there's this sharing of information, this collaboration that gives an awesome experience to the customer. But here we're seeing it in a brick and mortar store, aside from code, but just in a process, which is exciting because it's a new way we're seeing integrations with companies, not just from a data perspective. And it should help you think through and trigger ways that you can do the same in your business, in your company, where you can look for ways like Kohl's has to join Amazon and not try to fight against them and start their own online campaigns. No doubt, I'm sure they have an online store. I don't shop at Kohl's, it's just not my thing. But no doubt that they are having a partnership that's going to help them in their revenue and their growth as well. And you could do the same. You could be thinking of ways, creative ways, to be partnering with people like Amazon or whomever to help your business as well. You don't always have to look at competitors as the enemy, but you can look at them as collaborators sometime as well. The next interesting story that I saw was Charles Schwab is changing their revenue model, where instead of having a percentage of the portfolio, they are changing it to where you have a one-time fee of $300 and then a subscription of $30 a month. And no doubt they are going after the millennials, going after the younger generations that are used to subscription models, the Netflix, the Hulus, and other subscriptions like that, Prime. And it's going to be really interesting to see how well this does, because there are companies like Robinhood, then maybe I'll start putting that in the link again, where you can buy and sell stocks for free, and then you can subscribe for, it's a much cheaper fee than $30 a month. I forgot what it was. I think it's like $12 a month or something. It's something really small, and you get the ability to deposit money and get some money in advance while your payment's being processed. Compared to like a Charles Schwab, who they're charging a lot more, but you get financial advice, you get personalized advice. And so that might be something interesting to think about. But also the other thing is, do you really need advice every month and want to pay $30 a month? I mean, that's $360 a month or a year plus the one-time fee. And are you going to get that much value from their advice, or could you do that on your own for less time than it would take to visit with somebody? I don't know, maybe like subscribe to a podcaster who, maybe will just present their research for you for much less fees in the future. I don't know, maybe something like that will happen. But it will be interesting to see, because I don't know how many times you see your financial advisor, but I just don't picture going to them monthly and seeing that. But it'll be interesting if the business model works. It'll be also interesting to see if competitors try to copy the model as well. I have a feeling that just like in real estate, where the real estate agent is going to be changing roles with online agents becoming a factor, with Zillow buying and selling houses online, the agent is going to become more of a consulting role than the person that's going to manage the whole transaction. And I wonder if the same thing is going to happen with advisors as well in the financial industry. Because like we've said before, knowledge is de-siloed, that you can get financial information, you can do your own research, you can subscribe to your own platforms, and you are not beholden to a financial advisor to make the trades for you. I make trades for myself every single day. I'm not a day trader, but I trade daily. And the difference is I'm not buying and selling the same stocks, trying to ride the different ups and downs of one stock every day. One, I don't have the money to buy the programs to do that, and two, I'm not that smart. But I am managing my portfolio daily, and I would encourage you guys to do the same thing, but it's not costing me anything because of technology and because of the research I'm doing on my own. So it'll be interesting to see how that model plays out. And just a last note on that $25,000 is the minimum for that. So maybe you're interested in that. You have $25,000 or more. That's not too much money to invest. You might want to check out Charles Schwab for that. The next thing, and I'll point this out, I'll put this up on as a picture, and I'll put it in the show notes. And if you don't see the show notes, I don't know if you see the show notes at all where you're listening to this podcast, but if you want to go on the Fight Laugh Feast Network and see it, and they have the show on the show episode page, you can see the picture. But it's a hot dog wrapper for hamburger buns, and it says hot dog on it, but it's hamburger buns. And that is just, you know exactly what happened, right? Is somebody didn't do the due diligence of checking to make sure the collaboration of the machine that packaged the buns changed from hot dogs. Because no doubt the assembly line they package a bunch of different stuff and goes from hot dogs to buns, and they changed it over and they didn't double check. They didn't do the one extra step to make sure that they had everything changed, and they sent out a whole bunch of buns to the store and no one was doing quality control. And I just want to remind you that those stupid mistakes don't need to happen. You don't need to lose face. You don't need to be the laughing stock of the industry, because no doubt other competitors are laughing at them. If you just take the time to make sure things are right, you double check things, you don't just assume it's right. And if you do that in your career, if you're in your position, whatever you're managing, and your responsibilities in your business, if you have processes that you are implementing where you have checks on those processes and you have tight controls, then you are going to save yourself money, time, and you are going to have a competitive advantage against companies that will package hamburger buns and call them hot dog buns. That's all I'm saying. It's pretty funny, but there's a great lesson to be had in there as well. Learn from other people's mistakes so you don't have to make those mistakes yourself. The last thing I wanted to hit on today was an article that I didn't read, but the title, actually, no, I'll take it back. I did read part of it, and then I just thought it was ridiculous, but I really loved the title. And the title of it was, "Ambition is Only Part of the Package." And you can probably Google it and read the article if you want to yourself. And that is so true, and I was really hoping that would be a really great article. It turned out not to be. And I just want to talk about this for a second. Ambition is important, but it needs to be harnessed and surrounded by several different things. One, discipline. Two, values, because that's how you end up in prison. Is you become very ambitious, and if you don't have values and if you don't have a good moral conduct, then you're going to be breaking the rules, you're going to be breaking the law, and you're going to end up in jail. You also need to have humility. You also have to have curiosity and intelligence. And you have to surround yourself with these things and let ambition pull those other things and improve them, become more ethical, become more imaginative, become more curious, become more learned in your field, and allow ambition to pull those things, but also be honed by all those different principles as well. And that is what makes people successful. You're not going to be successful by breaking the rules. You might be temporarily, but in the long run, just like in investing or gambling or whatever it is, the riskier you are, the longer the horizon goes of you continuing that behavior, the more likely you're going to crash. And eventually you're going to lose money. Eventually you're going to make decisions that are going to put you out of business. But the way to stay in business, to play the long game, is to have ambition, to be going for goals, to be knowing the vision for your life, for your company, but to surround it with all the other core values and the principles that you need to last and be sustainable and to continue that success over the long term. You may not get the quick wins, you may not get the quick payout, but in the long term it's going to pay out, because people want to work with people that are ethical. People want to work with people that are humble. They don't want to work with prideful idiots that are bragging and boasting all the time about themselves. And they don't want to be working with people that are breaking the law, breaking the rules, and backstabbing people. You want to be around people that have the whole package and not just ambition alone. Now, let's go out and be successful together. God bless.